We wanted to take a 3-part series till the end of Zman. Maybe it'll turn to 4, but I think it's going to be 3. That's what I think, about an interesting subject. Here we are, first of all, in the Zmanim of Geula, in the time between Purim and Pesach, which is the time of the Geula, of the redemption. That's A. And B, we are in the physical time of the Geula. We've been seeing Ikvisid and Mashiach, everything that's been going on in the world, whether it's from Corona to these wars, to everything that's happening in the topsy-turvy world that we live in right now, that smell the ideas of Mashiach on his way. And see, in the Derech Hashem Shir, we finished speaking about 3 of the Ikarim of the Rambam, which is Nevuah, the Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu, prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu, and Schar V'Onish, and the fact that there's Torah Mina Shamayim, the fact that the Torah was given in Shamayim. Therefore, I decided for these last weeks, before we go into Pesach, I felt that it was appropriate during these times of Purim and Pesach to speak about one of the Ikarim that's known as Yemot Mashiach. I want to speak about Mashiach. Before Mashiach comes, I want you guys to be prepared, ready to know what's in store. Why should you be surprised? You should already have a handy-dandy book ready in knowing what's in store for you. But the truth is, I wanted you to get an understanding about what it means. Hopefully, today we'll speak about the idea of understanding what's in store with Mashiach, what we're waiting for, A. B, with the next year, I hope already to speak about the idea of Gog Magog. I don't know how much time is going to allow. Gog Magog, about what that's about also. And also, if we have time, with the idea of Chevle Mashiach, is the pain of Mashiach. I could really give a slew of 10, 20 shiurim on this. I have no shaila. It's just a question of picking what they call from the epics, the best part of these subjects. So I'll try my best to see what we can do. Cedar? Okay?
People have questions. Should they leave them in the comment section? If you have any questions or additions or anything you want me to speak about, I'm happy to hear. Here we go. So the Rambam basically discusses the idea of the fact that there is a mitzvah, or one of the Ikarim is to wait for Mashiach. It's the only place, as the Brisker Rav mentions, that it doesn't just say we have to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not corporal, that he's not physical, and that there's no end, there's a Torah's Mina Shamayim, but he adds a special point also that Afal Pi Sheyitma Mea Im Kol Zeh Achakelo, as we're all familiar from the song, of course. The Rambam took it straight from the song. And he basically says the idea is that even though it takes a long time, we should know that it's happening. So obviously there seems to be something very fundamental about this idea of waiting for Mashiach, of what Mashiach is about. And there seems to be some interest, some need for us to go ahead and waiting and understanding what's going to happen with the time of Mashiach. And therefore it's kedai to know what's the reason for it, what's the purpose of waiting, of this waiting, what's the need for it, why does it seem to be so important? Ad kedei kach, that the Rambam decided to make it one of the Ikarim, one of the 13 Ikarim of principles of faith, and if you don't do it, it seems to be you're an apikaris, you're a kofar, you're a heretic. What is this? It seems to be something a little bit too serious for me. Now basically the idea of Mashiach, as we all know, is already brought down that is going to be from the house of David HaMelech, from the house of Yehuda, as the famous Ramban in Parshat Vayechi already speaks out for us, as we're familiar with, that he says on the Pasuk Lo Yasser Shevet Mi Ben Raglav, that it's always going to remain in Yehuda, and he says that that's why the Chashmonayim, during the time of Chanukah, they ended up getting tremendously punished, even though there were tzaddikim gmorim, as he already writes, there were tzaddikim gmorim, but since they went ahead and they took not only being Kohanim Gedolim, which was their position to be the Kohanim, but they also decided to take the royal throne. They decided to make themselves into kings also. So that's why the Gemara says that Kol Man de Amar, whoever says I'm from Beit Chashmonai, Avdahu, he's an Evid. Meaning they ended up losing their whole entire dynasty of Chashmonai because they ended up deciding to take the throne out of place. Lo Yasser Shevet Mi Bein Raglav. It only remains in the house of Yehuda and David HaMelech. Shlomo Melech, that's where it's supposed to go. It's not supposed to go anywhere else. There's a specifically connection where it's supposed to be. So Daniel is asking, what about Shaul? How was Shaul basically able to do it? So of course the Ramban already answers that from the time that it starts through the Malchut of Beit David, from then on in, it is not supposed to change. In the beginning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had a little bit of an interim. He let Shaul HaMelech take over for a temporary amount of time, even though of course he was from Shevet Binyamin. Our Inyana Diyama of Purim during this time period is Binyamin. Esther and Mordechai were from Binyamin. They have the idea of Malchut over there also in Binyamin, but in the end of the day, we all know that it remains by Shevet Yehuda and nowhere else. Seder, that is the idea of Mashiach, and that's how we know that it's going to happen. And that's the person that we are waiting for. Okay. Now, after saying that, there is a need to figure out what this whole mitzvah of Mashiach is all about. Okay, first of all, why does it have to be a fundamental in Judaism? I understand talking about Olam Haba. We already have one of the fundamentals speaking about Olam Haba, believing in the next world. So why do I need also a fundamental to also believe in the time of Mashiach? As we know from the life after death Shurim, we spoke about already that there will be a time period that Mashiach will come after in this world, but there will also be a time of Olam Haba, which is Tchiyat Meitim. It's two separate perspectives, not the two shall meet, it's two different inyanim. According to the Rambam especially, it's strange that this is considered so fundamental, because the Shita of the Rambam is Ein Bein Yamot Mashiach, the Chai Olam, there's no difference between the time of Mashiach in this world, El Shibud Galiyot Belvad, that we will have a king on top of us, he will be in charge, and that we will have a malchut above us, meaning everybody will know Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. Everyone will realize the majesty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There will be a king in Israel, and we will be the head nation. There will be a metziut of Mashiach on top of us. Great. So that seems to be what this Ikar is about. Okay? But still, the question is, why is it so necessary for us to believe in it so much? So I'm going to speak out a yesod that's brought in the Sefer Sichot and Nefesh, and that is that we don't necessarily find any psukim or any chazalim mefurish that say that you better, hopefully all the time, it's a mitzvah de'oraita. It's not one of the 613 mitzvot to believe that Mashiach is coming. We said it's one of the ikarim. And the reason's like this, because it's not a mitzvah. Follow this logic for a minute. The idea behind, and this is very important to understand this mistake that people make, the idea of understanding and waiting for Mashiach to come is not a mitzvah. It's not that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, go wait for Mashiach. If you don't, you're an avarian, you're good for nothing, you deserve Gehenna, and you're not Pikaris, and you know, all the bad stuff gets upon you. That's not what it is. It's the other way around. In other words, if you recognize what is in store for us, what we're waiting for, Tachlita Yamim. Achrita Yamim means the purpose of all of creation will come when Mashiach comes by. When that happens, automatically, instinctively, you're going to want to go ahead and wait for it. A perfect example is we all know that if you're all planning a trip for the kids, and they know, okay guys, we're going to Chutz La'aretz, yay! I'm not saying that's a good thing to be happy about, but say that we're going to Chutz La'aretz. Where are you going? Switzerland, yay! Where are we going? We're going to the Alps, woo! We're going on a ski trip, woo! We can't wait. This is so exciting. We're going to go, yeah, we have a whole agenda planned for the next week and a half, what we're going to be doing there. We're staying in a special hotel, and we're going to go, and we're going to rent a car, we're going to go around to a few countries in Europe, and we're going to be going ahead and doing special things. Why is everyone so excited about this, right? I think I don't mean to get you guys excited. What? Can I join? Exactly. So I see everyone's all excited. Chas v'shalom. That's the excitement you should have when you're coming to the shir over here. But anyways, so we're going ahead and discussing the trip, and the more we discuss about it, so slowly but surely, the kids are mitzapeh, they're waiting, they can't wait, we're so excited, we're yearning for a day by day. It's an unbelievable event. We're so excited about it. Meaning, I don't have to tell them to be excited. You're a little bit foolish to say, okay guys, now be excited. Yeah, no, you don't need to do that. That's an automatic consequence. That's right. That happens instinctively. It doesn't happen consequentially. And therefore, when the more a person introspects, understands, looks into, realizes what the meaning of Mashiach is about, and what's going to happen, we'll try to explain this a little bit, about what's in store for us, and what's on deck, and appreciates the beauty of what it's supposed to be, so automatically you'll have a tzipiyah Mashiach. In other words, the Ikar that says, this Ikar that says you have to wait for the time of Mashiach, is coming to tell us that you should understand what's in store and automatically be excited about it. Automatically be excited about it. When you do that, you'll get to a stage of, I can't wait. I'm waiting for it to be in store. I'm waiting for what's going to be. Now, what is that? More or less, the idea of what happens in the time of Mashiach is the idea that we have what we call a kirvat Elokim. I know that sounds a little bit abstract, but a connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Taking away all mechitzot, all things that are in the way of understanding of our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a geschmack, it's an enjoyment, it's something that we feel an ecstasy about, that we almost are unable to relate to presently. We can't relate to it presently, but so to speak, we can a little bit. You ever see sometimes one of the Gedolei Yisrael, when they're with a Sefer, they're not being Moser Nefesh, it's Mesiras Nefesh, how they were such Masmidim, and if you're someone being Maspid, a Gadol, and telling you, they're not usually going to speak about how he was Moser Nefesh in order to do that. Of course he was Moser Nefesh, I know he was. But it was more of how much he enjoyed when he was by the Sefer, when he was there writing the Sefer. You see it, and I know this from the children, let's say, of Rav Haji Yosef. Like when he was there, it was like a mamtak. It was mamish like being next to a candy, next to being a chocolate store. He just loved it. It was so exciting to be there, to be able to look up another Sefer, go through it, to be able to write up some chidushim. Sometimes some subjects I do and I write up and I have such an incredible enjoyment from it. It's almost an inexplainable enjoyment. Now again, we go sometimes to Shir even though it's difficult and hard, and we get credit for it and it's fantastic. But the real connection to sometimes learning Torah or a Ruchnis type of feeling is sometimes learning it with just this enjoyment, what we call a tam belimud, something that's just unexplainable, to be able to have that type of kesher to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, that ruchani feeling, that feeling of learning another idea, introspecting into it, putting something together, learning a concept which I enjoy so much, and that really is a certain type of enjoyment that we get in the time of Ikvit Mashiach.
Gishmak.
Gishmak, I'm sorry for saying that so many times. I said too many times. What?
No, Gishmak.
Gishmak. There's no other word in English for it, or Hebrew. I can't ever just find it. That's just the word. I can't think. Now, I understand that sometimes it's hard for us to relate to this idea, but as a mashal I one time heard, and I think it describes it quite well, is it's very similar to someone who's born in a hospital who's handicapped, and the person himself is handicapped. The doctors are handicapped, the nurses are handicapped, all the people are handicapped, everyone is, so to speak, handicapped. And since everyone is, so to speak, crippled, and the person is lo aleinu, going around in this place, and that's where he's raised from age 0 until he's 10. So he understands this is how the world is, and that's what it is. One day he goes out into the world and he sees someone on the sidewalk walking. He thinks, whoa, this is Superman. This guy is incredible state. He's able to jump, skip, run. He's able to walk on his feet. He suddenly has an incredible appreciation for this person. How does he have these superpowers? But the truth is we all understand that person is the one who's handicapped. That person is the crippled one, not the person that he sees walking. But because he was born in a state of being behind, of being crippled, of being handicapped, so to speak, he doesn't realize when he sees someone who is, if I could say, quote unquote, normal, that he is really the normal one and you're the crippled one. We grew up and were raised in a world, if I could say, that's a little bit crippled, all in wheelchairs. Most of us are all very crippled, and we don't have an understanding of what it means to be in a state of normalcy. A state of normalcy is in a place of being able to see the Ziva Shechina, of being able to be connected to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, of having real menucha to nefesh, of things being at ease, things not being with all the stress that we are surrounded by, things that we are constantly being pulled from all angles by every single emotion that affects us. Today I'm angry, tomorrow I'm depressed, the next day I'm excited, the next day I'm disappointed. Every day we have something else. I'm impatient. We have incredible amount of emotional struggles that are pulling us from here till tomorrow. We have a certain amount of unease about our financial situation. We're upset about our situation with our children. We are irritated with our situation with our shalom bayit. We are annoyed with the situation with our shidduchim. Everybody has their nisyonot, everybody has in their place. And I understand that's a state of life that we are in. But you don't realize that, yes, that might be a problematic word, but the idea is to have this idealistic connection to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. If we would be able to reach a status of what really a connection to a Kadosh Baruch Hu is, we would be at ease. We would be in a state of menuchas and nefesh. So to speak, things would not be bothering us as much as they do. When a person knows what Mashiach is about and he's there, where you are is where your mind is. If my mind is on Mashiach, so automatically I'm waiting intensively for him to come. My interest is mechalchel. I have a strong interest. I'm begging for his coming. I'm looking for it to happen. I'm waiting for something to occur. It's, if we're in the time of Purim now, we know that a person lives in an open city is known as a ben ir. Someone who learns in Yerushalayim is called a ben krach. What does it mean is a ben krach? It means that even when he's not in Yerushalayim, he's still a Yerushalmi dekayid. He's still a ben krach. He's still considered a 15. Even when I'm not in Beit Shemesh, I'm still considered a ben ir. I'm part of this city. That's just where I'm part and parcel of. In the olden days, they did not have last names. They were called Rav Yisrael Salanter, from Misalant, right? Rav Shmuel Salant. It was they would call me Peterburg, the Vilna Gaon, the Gaon mi Vilna. People would be known by their place. The place was where you were located. That's where your mind was, and that's where your state was. Where are you? Are you a ben olam haba, or are you a ben olam hazeh? Is your focus on what's going to be in the time of Mashiach and the status of what will occur in that time period? Is that where your head is? And therefore, automatically, you're waiting for it. You're looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's so exciting. I can't wait for that trip happening. Is that where your mind is located? Or is my mind located in Olam Hazeh? Is my mind focused on this world? The more a person is attached to Olam Hazeh, the more he has things, the more he's busy with the trinkets in this world, the more he's busy with his interests in this world, whether it's you have the money, or like other people, is you're just waiting to make that amount of money, you're just focusing on when can I get there. You're busy with the swimming pools, you're busy with the field trips, you're busy always with the amount of things that I can gain, the extra, the new styles that come out. The more I'm focused on Olam Hazeh, I assure you 100%, you are not mitzapeh for Mashiach. You're not waiting for Mashiach to come. Who needs him? He's just in the way. He's just going to be annoying. It's just frustrating. I'm busy over here. Can you not get in my way? It's just in my hair to be able to go in there. It's not just that though. Automatically you're not thinking there because you're thinking about something else. I'm thinking about my connection to this world. I'm thinking about, I'll say the word physicality, even though it just sounds too abstract. But I'm thinking about Olam Hazeh. I'm thinking about what I can take here, and therefore my mind is not somewhere else. When you're davening 3 times a day, 6 times, at least 6 tefillot, at least 6 brachot, are discussing the ideas of Mashiach, I assure you, you're spacing out. You're not concentrating on what's being said. It's not really of interest to you. Yeah. Boini Yerushalayim. I heard that. Matzmiach Yeshua. Okay. Hala. Shema Koleinu. Hashem, give me money. Please, come on. I need money. Please, Shema Koleinu. Barach Aleinu, right? Freinu. Chas v'shalom, something's happened. So I need a refuah. But you're not busy thinking about the fact that Hashiva Shavteinu and this. I will say, even though it's hard to have concentration on all the brachot about Mashiach, I don't know why Hashiva Shavteinu should be hard. It should be extremely easy. When you see what type of judges that we have, that it's such an abusive system, it's such a system that is so corrupt, that bracha, at least that one, I can say I have kavanah about. Hashiva Shavteinu, let's get some real judges out here, not ones that decide who pick themselves and are completely not bound to any laws and basically decide what they want. But anyways, the idea of waiting for Mashiach is what we say in Hebrew, a midi de mamela. It's something consequential. It happens automatically. The more you focus and realize what we are missing in this world, what's lacking, where is my head? My head is in a place of realizing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name is not Shalem. His name is not full. And again, I try not to speak at things that are too abstract. Hashem's not here. We want the Shekhinah to come down. I understand that that's the way to darshan. You make a drasha. We want the Shekhinah to come here. It has to be more real than that. Realize what we are missing in this world. The world is an upside down world. The world is topsy-turvy. And Hashem is making it more and more topsy-turvy so that we will have a stronger yearning for Mashiach to come. In other words, if it wasn't enough how bad the world was in the past, it's getting that much worse. It's getting that much worse. Things are becoming much more topsy-turvy. And as much as everything is upside down, so then we feel a lack of something. We feel something missing. Okay, we suddenly feel what is going on. Things that were completely considered taboo once upon a time. Yes, everyone always did averot. People were always doing things that were illegal. Things were doing things that were wrong. Whether it's stealing, whether it's illicit relations, whether it's things, even bad-mouthing other people. But it was done with a certain amount of secrecy. It was done with a certain amount of discrepancy. People cared about aesthetics. People were dressed in a certain way, right? It's unbelievable. You can look at the old films from 60, 70 years ago. Things were so, even the most TV shows or this were done with such decorum. That's the word I was looking for. Decorum. It was on my tip of my tongue. There was such a decorum. In the show I Love Lucy, it was known, if I'm using it as Marmakomas, what? Am I allowed to do that? It's okay. It was known that they would never show a bedroom in one scene. They were not able to see a bedroom in one scene. It was always a solo scene. I don't know the show well enough to be able to tell you if that's accurate. Baruch Hashem, my Bekias is not good enough. But that was a fact that was known. In the olden days, to see a black and white film, they would never even, not just show, they wouldn't show the bedroom, like the room itself. There was such a level of aesthetics that was incredible to what it was. The old dancers from the 20s, they were dressed fully from top to bottom. They looked like Beis Yaakov girls. That's how it was. It was incredible to see the amount of how it was. But now there's no bars. It's not just that people are not tsanua. You need to be not tsanua. You're not normal if you're normal. If you do things which what we would categorize as being normal, you're the one who's abnormal. You want to help them? You're the one who's doing things that are out of place. That's the idea that we're bringing out over here. And like I said, for a while we weren't able to appreciate this. Hashem is making the world so clearly upside down in order that appreciation for the need for Mashiach to come here is coming. I need the Shechina Kedusha to come here. I need everyone to realize Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. I wish everyone would realize that there is nothing else except for Ratzon Hashem. All the kids that are going off the derech won't be there. All the issues of divorce and Shalom Bayit in the world won't be there. I'm not doing this for that. I'm doing it so people would appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't wait for Mashiach because I want all the problems in the world to go. I want all the Arabs dead, Mashiach should come. That's not what it's for. That will happen. Yes, all the Arabs will be in the ocean. Gavaldig, Hashem Yazor. We all want them there, and that's where they should be. But that's not why I want Mashiach to come. That's a very shallow understanding of what it's about. I want it because everyone should realize the beauty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Or Eloki. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there and Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. All of a sudden, everybody will have a hidbatlus to what is there. When the Rambam brings in the end of Malachim, and also in Hilchot Shuvah and Perek Tet, he brings about the time when Mashiach will be here. There will be no more wars, he says. Parnasa will not be necessary. You won't have to work anymore. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of everything. Everything will be done. He doesn't say that's the reason, and therefore Mashiach is here. Oh, I can't wait that I don't have to go to work. Or b'meila there won't be wars. That's not what he says. He goes to the next step and he says, and now I'll be able to be Oved Hashem Tamid. I'll be able to be Oved HaKadosh Baruch Hu now properly. I'll be able to build up my brownie points. I'll be able to learn all day. For some people that's Gan, and for some people it's Gan Eden, right? For some people, no. That's what it means. You'll be able to go ahead and earn your schuyot now because you won't be busy having to go and work a 9-10 hour job, or even when you're not working, you're still thinking about the job. You're still thinking about the business. I won't have to be there. I won't be having to go ahead and have all these disagreements about whether Charedim should be going to the army or not going to the army. We won't have people, Rahman al-Islam, losing. The people that we're losing will be in a status above that where there won't be these issues. And what does the Rambam say? In Memela, I'll be able to spend the whole entire day in the Beis Midrash. And that's the ideal. And what's so good about spending the day in the Beis Midrash? You're in Olam Haba. That's Olam Haba. Automatically, I'm in a status of euphoria. That's where I want to be. You follow? That's what Mashiach is about. Knowing what we're yearning for, understanding what it's there, and automatically you want to get there. Again, not because you want to save a buck, not because you want to be a multimillionaire, nothing to do with that. It has to do when you do that, so then Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, I've tsar to see the world is incorrect, and Hashem is making the world more incorrect, more clearly problematic, in order that now I can fully understand that we're handicapped, that we're walking around in wheelchairs. It will come to a realization that no, we're in a state that it's not supposed to be that way, and automatically I'm begging Hashem, please fix things up. I want you and everyone to realize that Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. What did you say, Aaron? You want to say something?
Looks like technology is preparing for that world where we don't have to do anything. The thing is that the rest of the
making
world,
it easy.
The rest of the world is going to have a problem not knowing what to do when you don't have to do anything. But if you have the Torah, that will
take care of it.
Yeah, purpose in life basically will come to the forefront.
It sounds a lot like retirement.
Say again, it sounds what?
It sounds a lot like retirement.
Yeah. Now retiring is boring. That's how things. But if you're a person who's a ben Torah like you, and you know, so you use it to the best. Sometimes they tell people not to quit their job. They say to work until they drop. That's the truth. And they tell people that. Because if they don't, then they will drop, unfortunately. A person who says no shaykhut to Torah, no shaykhut to learning, and you see it over and over again, suddenly they just wither away. And it's so sad to see. Because they had nothing before. And that's why it's so beautiful. People who are able to know how to connect to learning, to be able to have something like that, then they have a meaning in their life. They have a direction. And that's what the idea of Tzipita al-Mashiach is. To know that the world is in a direction. We're in a tunnel. We're focused to a certain perspective. And with here I'm going to mention 2 points, and with that we're going to finish, by the way. But these 2 points are very fundamental. First of all, I'm going to mention that from here we see that, follow me, this is not something about the future. It's something about what I have to do now. In other words, I have to focus on the present, how to get myself to being there, to being in a place of Mashiach. I don't want to suddenly Mashiach come and I'm not ready for it. I want to be able to do things to get myself to a place that I have to be there. We want Hashem to come, the world to see a clear perspective of what it is. But you don't want to be behind. You want to be in a place where you're already, you did your mitzvot, you did a certain amount of learning. It's a scary thing to think I didn't learn enough, and Mashiach comes, I'm way behind. It's a sad thing. You want to make sure that you're Mekarev Rechokim, trying to get people closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Many people, if I could say the majority of the world, or more than the majority, probably 99% of the world, live for tomorrow and forget to live for today. Many times. When we're all little, we're all waiting to see when we become big, and when Abba and Ima are not going to tell me what to do, I'll be independent. You're always waiting for the day when I can grow up, when I can get there. And then as a teenager, with all the things that you have with your friends and all the downs and ups that you have and all the breakups and all the this and all the situations that you go through, you're always waiting to become an adult and say, when I grow up, I'm going to be this, I'm going to become this, I'm going to multi-million, I'm going to have this money, I'm going to do that, whatever you can. And then we all know you get older and you go, oh, I wish I was a kid again, right? That's usually the situation. And I'm not to talk about once you're in your older ages, I hate saying numbers because then people get upset, right? But in your older ages, you're busy looking at the pictures and going, oh, I remember when I used to look like this. You remember this? I used to be, remember that? I used to. People are so busy focusing on a different time period instead of focusing on the present. Tzipita Yeshua, Tzipita Mashiach is not just a feeling of focus and not appreciating the present. It's not just thinking about, I can't wait. Oh, it's not just waiting for the bus stop, waiting for the bus to come. It's presently working on myself in order to be ready for when that comes. Again, where is my head? Is my head in the swimming pools and tennis courts? Is that where it is right now? So you're focused on now. I assure you, it's impossible to be focused on. You can't be focused on 2 places at once. You can't be there. You are where your head is. When you're in Shemona Esrei, wherever you're concentrating, that's where you are. Finished, full stop. That's where you are. Famous Rav Shalom Shadron, that he said he was, walking in the shuk, the Machane Yehuda, and he was going around and shopping in Machane Yehuda, buying what he needs over there. And he said in the middle, someone hit him in the back. Someone hit, what? And he looked around right and left. Who's hitting me? What happened? And then suddenly again, someone hit him again. While he was in the middle of shuk, he didn't know, he was looking right and left. Suddenly he realized he was in the middle of Slach Lanu, when he was clapping. Slach Lanu. Ashkenazim, Slach Lanu. The Shtarim don't even know what I'm talking about here. Slach Lanu, you're supposed to hit on the heart. When you do that, you're in the middle of Slach Lanu. You're located in the place of where your head is. So if you're focused on this world, it's not happening. So you're focused on the next world, you're focused on Mashiach and wanting HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be Megal himself, and B'ezrat Hashem, people should go straight and things should be right, and everyone should realize what the emet is, and sheker should be coming batel. But how do I prepare myself today for that? That's a stepping stool. That's a way of working on myself in order to make that change, to get myself ready to be there. My wife, one time before she was married, is working in Los Angeles in a type of school, which you might be able to figure out what type of thing is. And she reported to me what she used to hear many times in the classes, which I do not vouch for. Everybody has their shitat, and this they go, and the teacher would go ahead and say, when you want something from your mom, what do you say? But Ima, I want it now. I want it now. This is a story that you heard over 30 years ago, yeah? I already dated myself. Right? Anyway, so that's what I want it now. So he says, so if you want Mashiach, you say, I want him now. I want Mashiach now. And you have to scream and jump and say, I want him now. That is not what we are discussing right now. I'm not saying everyone has their own cheetahs and do what you want, but this is not our haga from our Rabbi say. To go ahead and scream, if I scream, I want Mashiach now, that's how it's going to work. That's not what we're looking to do. I appreciate Mashiach's coming, wanting to be there. What do I have to do to get there? What is my obligation right now in order for it to happen? It's not standing on your head and saying, I want Mashiach now. It is not nothing to do with that demeanor. That's not where you're going to get it. That's not how it's going to come, and it's going to come only with what I was discussing. Let me end with this one piece, which is mentioned in a number of places, so you should know it's a fact that it truly happened. It's brought in Meir in Neil Yisrael. That's a book on the Chofetz Chaim. It's brought in the Or Yecheskel. It's brought in the Chofetz Chaim al the Torah. It's brought in the Siftei Chaim and Amun and Chelik Bet. A number of places that they bring a Ma'aseh Shaya. Now, basically, it's like this: the Chofetz Chaim got together all the Rebbanim, and in Radin, in Europe, he brought many. Rav Chanan Wasserman, and he brought the Panovich Rav and other of his Talmidim and many big Rabbanim of the time, and he gathered them together for a meeting, all coming together. And basically, to give a hagdama to what he said before, he stated the rule is, as we all know, when Mashiach comes, that Bechira will basically be taken away. Free choice, we understand, it's Yamim She'ein Behem Chefetz, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes the Bechira from within us. And it becomes clear as day. Hashem is in front of us. Like we said, the emet is the light, is beaconing in front of us. So we know the truth, and it's just impossible to go and do something wrong. You have as big a Yetzer Hara to do something wrong as you do right now to stick your hand inside of a cauldron fire. It doesn't happen that's the Bechira that happens at that time. That's why it's called Yamim She'ein Behem Chefetz. It takes away from your free choice, Kebiyachol. And therefore, the Chofetz Chaim stood up and he asked, and he said, Rabbi Isai, who says that we want Mashiach to come? It would make sense that Mashiach should not come. I prefer that he doesn't come. Just like we don't want to die for one reason, because you lose all your free choice when you die. You're not able to do any more mitzvot. You're not able to learn anymore. You're not able to put schuyot under your belt. So in as much as that's true, why would I ask for Mashiach to come? And they actually bring from Rav Yisrael Salanter that he says, people say, Halvai sheyagia Mashiach, and I say, Pen yagia Mashiach. No, he said Pen, he didn't say Shema. He didn't say, Shema yagia Mashiach means, I'm afraid that Mashiach should come. Chas Shalom, he wants Mashiach to come. Pen is lest, meaning, I'm afraid about Mashiach's coming, lest he comes, because I'm not ready. Am I ready? Have I prepared everything that I need to prepare? Have I gone through all the things that I need to be done in order that I'm ready for Mashiach to be here? So the Chofetz Chaim asked, he says, why should we be worried about Mashiach to come? Why am I waiting for Mashiach? It's known the Chofetz Chaim, his son said he almost used to be sick sometimes waiting for Mashiach to come. We all know he was rustling out of the windows of the things. He used to go to the window and check, maybe that's Mashiach coming, shaking the leaves on his way in. Maybe something's happening. He used to see two people outside talking, and he used to go and listen and go, maybe they're discussing because Mashiach is on his way. Maybe what are they discussing or something like that. So he says, so the Chofetz Chaim went and asked, why should we ask Mashiach to come? I'm doing great. Don't forget, we're talking about the Chofetz Chaim. I'm doing great. I'm racking up schuyot here. Maybe it's better not that he shouldn't be here. And it's true. Why should I be there? So he answered like this. Basically, the Chofetz Chaim said like this. It's almost the words it says. Miroiv, and this will finish. Miroiv avat Hashem otanu lo mevi lanu Mashiach. Because he loves us so much, he's delaying him from coming. He's delaying Mashiach from coming. Kedei shenuchal leharbot b'schar, in order that we can have a lot of schar, v'lachtof od mitzvot, and that way we can have more mitzvot. That way we can enjoy more mitzvot. The longer it takes him, the more mitzvot we can have, because we have free choice and we're able to do more, more tefillot and more learning, and we do it with our Yetzer Hara. As long as you have a Yetzer Hara, so you're getting that much more to be able to get in this matzav that we are in. We're able to get it. And he said, "Aval areinu roim she'ador olecha midarder." We see that the world is going down and down. The generation is going down and down. The 1930s, Rabbi say. Yeah, I'm not talking about the 2030s, right? He says it's going long and long. And in a different context over there in Al-Atari, he mentions people are playing kadoregel on Shabbat. People are going ahead and playing soccer on Shabbat. I know it's hard to believe, but back then, apparently, in the time of the Chofetz Chaim, apparently people were playing soccer even on Shabbat. It's unbelievable. And he says, and there's a tremendous Sar Shechina. People are being roidef acharei talmidei chachamim. People are trying to take away any type of money they can give to the Talmidei Chachamim. They show a lack of interest in the Chachamim. And there are mitzvah Acheinu B'nai Yisrael, and we have a tremendous amount of trouble of Acheinu B'nai Yisrael that are happening amongst us. People are going off. People are neged the Torah. People are having problems. And Noshrim, how many kids are, Rahman al-San, as we know, going in the wrong directions? Umi yodeh mayel yadeinu, who knows what's going to happen with the children and the grandchildren? So he says these words, Bo nomar, listen to the Oy of Yisrael, the Chofetz Chaim, shelo kamo. There was not a dugma there. Bo nomar le'akadosh baruch hu shanu moichlim al schar mitzvot. Rebbeinu Shalom, we are mochel on the schar of all the mitzvot, and not the mitzvot atzman. Not the mitzvot atzman, chas v'shalom. We don't give up on the mochel. We're mochel on the schar of all the mitzvot shayinu atidim la'asot mi'atav ad geula. We're supposed to do until the real geula, which Hashem is being nice and He's pushing it off, so that we can do mitzvot. We're mochel on those mitzvot. U'bilvad sheyavo Mashiach ata v'yitgadel v'yikadesh shmei rabbah. Ve'areinu moisrim nefesh kepshutoy vitor l'schuyoy to schar be'avur kiddush Hashem. Only the Chofetz Chaim can say such words, right? Would anyone think of saying such a thing? I'm willing to be moichel on all the schar that I'm supposed to be getting. And again, let's see what we're talking about. We're talking about the Chofetz Chaim, the man who did a cheshbon and nefesh on Rosh Hashanah, and he found 6.5 minutes of bittul Torah. Oy, Rahman al-Tzlan. That he was able to do it, and he did a lot of tshuva because of those 6.5 minutes. There's a man who was counting his minutes and every bit that he could do, and he said, I'm willing to be mevater on those years of absolute accomplishment, which the Chofetz Chaim was so good, just for the sake of Klal Yisrael, just for the sake of Kiddush Hashem, just for the sake that people should know Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, just so that we should have that connection and affiliation to knowing what's emet v'Torah emet, to realize that the world that is so upside down should turn right side up, and that things should know what the emet is and understand, and it should put all our brethren back together to have a realization of Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, to bring him back to where it's supposed to be. And he said when he will get to such a stage, that's willing for us all, us Rabbanim, that's why he got all these Rabbanim together, that he was there. We have to go and daven together that the Mashiach should come and the Geula should come, b'mira b'yameinu, in order that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be able to be seen with a clear perspective. That's what Tzipiti Yeshua is about. It's not begging and screaming, we want Mashiach now, and it's not talking about going ahead and hoping, I wish my pocketbook was really a little bit bigger. I'm having trouble with my financial issues. I'm having trouble with the war in Gaza, which Rahman al-San, all those things will be taken care of. They will be taken care of, but that's not what we're begging for. We're looking for the fact that the emet should come to the world. People should have a straight head on things, the perspective of what's correct, and that everything should become betel, so that we could be able to be doing what's right at the right time. And automatically you're yearning for such a situation. You're looking for that trip to Switzerland. Automatically it's happening. All I have to do is describe to you how beautiful the Alps are over there, and automatically you're yearning to get there. I don't have to teach you, I don't have to tell you, or be mitzav you, command you to yearn for it, because that's not what we're trying to do. Say that? Okay.